We continue to follow major developments in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The first major break in the case came late yesterday morning after the FBI released video and pictures from one of Nancy's Nest cameras that was outside her front door. Authorities believe these images were taken the night she disappeared, showing a masked armed man wearing a backpack. Then hours later, last night, the Pima County Sheriff's Department said deputies detained someone during a traffic stop south of Tucson. The person was being questioned. Authorities then executed a search warrant at a home. Law enforcement also searched a car. Both of those searches taking place in Rio Rico, Arizona. That's roughly 60 miles south of Tucson, near the U.S.-Mexico border. 12 News journalist Sean Rice is live in Tucson at Nancy Guthrie's home. And Sean, have there been any new developments since then?
Yeah, Tram, good afternoon to you. I would say the most notable development is we are seeing an increased FBI agent presence in and around Nancy Guthrie's home here in the Catalina foothills area of northeast Tucson. This is something we've seen in several days prior, but it's very notable that they are back out here searching wooded areas, neighboring properties, searching for any evidence they can find that helps them answer the question that still does not add up. Where is Nancy Guthrie? As you mentioned, it was a hectic last 24 hours in this high-profile investigation, with a man being detained for a short time about an hour south of Tucson in Rio Rico, just outside of his own home. He would be later released at about midnight, right as we entered from Tuesday to Wednesday. The sheriff's office told us late this morning that they've received 18,000 phone calls into their tip line over the 11 days that this investigation has run its course, and 4,000 of those have come in just over the last 24 hours after the FBI released that surveillance footage we just showed you. They tell us that hundreds of detectives, both local and federal, remain committed and steadfast in this investigation. Let's take you to some video now. We had a chance to put our drone up late this morning, giving you a bird's eye view of what Nancy Guthrie's home looks like right now. Again, it's been 11 days since she was last seen here at her home. We have seen FBI agents scouring multiple areas late this morning near her home, also near Nancy's daughter, Annie Guthrie's home as well, but it does not appear from any of the footage we've shot that they've found anything noteworthy. This morning, I spoke with Carlos Palenzuelos. This is the man who was detained in Rio Rico last night. He said he knew he was being followed as he was delivering food for DoorDash with his wife and 2 children in the car last night. He said he was placed into handcuffs and questioned inside the back of a Pima County Sheriff's Office vehicle. They inspected his car meticulously, and agents later executed a search warrant on his home just a couple blocks away in Rio Rico. Take a listen to the back and forth I had with him, learning more about why he said he was stopped and what these agents took from his home as they executed that search warrant. Take a listen. Before this entire situation happened, you didn't know there was a kidnapping. You guys
I didn't know anything.
There's an 84-year-old woman missing up in the Tucson area. There had to maybe been something they told you as to how they got to you. How did they get to the Rio Rico?
An anonymous tip. That's what they said.
Okay. They thought you looked like that person in the video?
That's what they told my mother-in-law. Okay. They showed her a video. Yeah, because they said that my eyes and my eyelashes looked the same.
Carlos, did they give you any search warrant paperwork?
Nah, until the end.
Not until the end?
Yeah, until they finished their investigation.
Did that say anything on it at all?
Just that they needed my phone.
They needed your phone?
That's it.
Okay. So do they have your phone right now?
Yeah.
Do you know what they're doing with it?
They told me that they're investigating it.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to open it, though.
And Carlos tells me he was released from handcuffs right around midnight last night and maintains he had nothing to do with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. He said he did not recognize the person in the surveillance footage released by the FBI last night. Of course, this was a person in a ski mask that they may have thought was Carlos, but again, he remains committed to the fact that he is not the person in that video and he had nothing to do with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Now, there remains a $50,000 reward offered by the FBI for any information that could serve 2 purposes, that could find the information as to where Nancy Guthrie is and bring her alive, or someone could also bring a tip that then gets them an arrest and a potential conviction in this case if, God forbid, something more sinister did happen to Nancy. So that reward is still out there, and somebody has the information that can maybe break this case open. And they're still encouraging, even with the heavy volume of calls they've seen over the last 24 hours, for any member of the public to reach out and report what they may know. Tram.
Sean, it's interesting that conversation that you had with that person of interest that law enforcement detained. I'm wondering, in that interview, he seemed pretty calm, very straightforward. I mean, was he stunned? Was he shocked? Was he scared during that whole ordeal, especially not even knowing that this is one of the biggest national cases right now?
Right. He said he was extremely frightened. He posed sort of a question to us reporters as we were talking to him, quote, how would you feel? And I think all of us would be rather alarmed. What's an interesting detail about what happened last night is this wasn't a traffic stop where there was lights and sirens behind him. He saw several unmarked and marked law enforcement vehicles following him on a local road that he's taken near his house multiple times. So he voluntarily pulled over, and that is when he was approached, placed into handcuffs, detained, and questioned. And so an extremely frightening situation, but again, we can't reiterate it enough. He has told us and has remained very open about the fact that he has nothing to do with this disappearance and didn't even really know about the case before last night. Trim.
Yeah, I bet. Truly frightening for him. All right, Sean, I know we'll hear from you later on today at 4, 5, and 6. We appreciate it. Thank you.